Hugo Rifkind on Times Radio.
Hello, Hugo Rifkind here on Times Radio. It is 21 minutes past 12. I'm with you until 1 o'clock. Now, why good leaders should stand out rather than fit in. Audacity is what the executive coach Alina Addison encourages, along with authenticity and non-conformity. Addison's new book, The Audacity Spectrum, is also for anyone who has ever had to tone down a part of their personality at work, examining how to productively channel that trait instead. Alina Addison, welcome to Times Radio.
Thank you, Hugo.
Thanks very much for being here. Look, this idea of audacity among leadership, I flip between thinking, of course, leaders should be bold, and, oh God, imagine working for somebody who kept going out of their way to be audacious. This sounds like a nightmare. What's the balance there?
Well, it's a difficult balance, actually. It is that tension between being bold and also being caring, and that's why, for me, audacity is more than being courageous. It's more than being bold. It's an unconventional definition of audacity.
Okay.
It's redefining it and adding this extra dimension of care.
Tell us a bit then about what you mean about audacity.
So audacity for me is, as I said, it's in under those three pillars of courage, which most people will associate audacity with, boldness. It's caring. It's really accessing your heart in a way that is audacious, and then non-conforming in a way that goes beyond the conventional, goes beyond what some people may call appropriate to achieve a mission.
So the one that stands out there a little bit, I suppose, is caring, because you can see people who are audacious, people who are sort of have a huge dramatic leadership style. You could understand that going hand in hand with selfishness or with self-obsession. You're kind of saying the opposite.
Indeed, and actually it's probably, and it could be construed as obsession at times. For me, the caring part is probably the one which is harder to grasp, because it's when you care about someone or something or a mission so much that you don't care about what other people think. Because most of us as humans care so much about other people's thoughts, perspectives, we stop doing what we feel passionate about.
Okay, but I mean, so somebody like Donald Trump, for example, as a leader, clearly one might say audacious, clearly non-conformist, obviously bold. One would have thought the caring side of things is perhaps not quite there. How would you fit him into this sort of?
Yes, I would. I mean, it's a spectrum. That's why I called the book a spectrum in a way, and we all fit in one way or another. We all qualify, and there is a disqualification in my perspective. And I use Donald Trump. There is a few bits in the book where I would take him out of my definition of audacity, which has got the extra caring for that reason.
For that reason, exactly. I mean, I guess the opposite way of almost saying the same thing is Keir Starmer, for example, in this country. I don't think many people would describe him as audacious, and there's been this sort of a lot of people liked about him was his caution, his modesty, his not rocking the boat, his not being a big figure. Would you say that's a failing?
No, definitely not. I think, again, it's how you position it, how you frame it or reframe it. And in a way, I think it's the whole idea of doing something which is different, which takes courage in a caring way.
Tell us about the idea of authenticity.
Authenticity is probably one of the hardest A's. So my book has got 8 A's of audacity, and authenticity is one of the 8 A's. But it's probably one of the hardest ones because for me, it's the courage to tell the truth in a way that, it's a naked truth that could hurt, and it's rare. So again, for all of us, it's how we do it. There is a secret source of any of these A's. It's in the ingredients of how we use authenticity, and it's extreme. The book makes references to my son, who is on the spectrum,
yes.
And he's definitely an example of someone who may take authenticity to its edge,
right? Okay,
and calling the elephant in the room when it's not necessary. And I'm not recommending that at all times, because you have to use the caring part.
We'll come back to that in just a moment. Is there a tension between leadership coaching and advising authenticity, if you see what I mean? Because the stereotype would be, as soon as you're engaging with the leadership coach, that's the antithesis of authenticity. Do you see what I mean?
Yes and no.
Right.
Yes and no. Actually, in a way, you are, and that's probably most of the perspective. I think for me, when people say, leadership engaging with it's the antidote. Whereas I would say everybody should have a coach. I have a coach. Most people should, because in the way that Olympians have got a coach,
Sure.
and therefore, is this sense of weakness